How can I get bigger? Let me think about this for a minute. How about f***ing eat more? What do you think about that one? Is that a tough one? Eat more f***ing food, that's gonna make you bigger.
Well, you heard what the man said. Alright, but jokes aside, I know that gaining weight is something that is difficult for a lot of people, and in particular, there's a large percentage of young men who seem to struggle to put on weight and would claim that it's impossible altogether because they have the superhuman alien metabolism from planet Krypton that nobody else has, and it just defies the laws of our known universe, and they just can't, no matter what they do, put on an ounce of weight whatsoever. And so they're just these unique little unicorns that are different than the rest of us, and so it's just impossible for them. That's the mindset a lot of you guys have. When you're thinking like that, is it any wonder why you can't put on weight? Is it any mystery why somebody who believes that there's some sort of abnormal exception to the rule, is there any confusion why they can't do that? Obviously, you need to start at the base, and that's your mindset and your belief system. If you think that you are, in fact, some sort of a anomaly in this case, and you can't put on weight, then you simply will not. So step one is simply accepting that you need to gain weight and believing that you can. And once that's in place, you can then move on to wanting to gain weight. Because a lot of you want to gain weight, but you're not doing the mental shift necessary to start you down that path. Another part of this, and this is going to be tough to hear for some of you, I guess, but I mean, you've probably heard it already, but you're going to have to not be so attached to your leanness, and you get especially the visibility of your abs. That's what's going to hinder a lot of you from being able to make really any progress in the weight room, is simply being afraid of losing the abs. Guys, let me explain something to you. You never lose your abs. You simply hide them because there's fat. But the abs are always there. You get what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down? No matter what amount of fat is over your abs, it doesn't change the fact that the muscle is still there. And you can always lose the fat again to reveal the muscle later down the line. You're just afraid of letting go of that visibility for a portion of time that's going to give you so much more in return in terms of how well developed they look, in terms of how good the rest of your physique looks, and in terms of your just development in the gym altogether. You're willing to sacrifice all of that because you're afraid to let go of some visibility in your midsection, and we're just going to have to nip that in the bud. Let go of your ab anxiety. Understand that you will at some point reclaim it when you choose to and you're ready to do so, but there needs to be a period of time where you are allowing your body to experience higher levels of body fat and experience a large calorie surplus to build some quality muscle along with that fat, which can then be utilized for anything else that you want to use it for, or cut it down, pre-comp, whatever you want to do. Just let it happen first. Now, step two is understanding that your appetite will absolutely betray you. The vast majority of you are in the scenario that you're in because of your appetite. It's not like you're tracking your food, right? It's not like you're meticulously looking over the numbers and making sure that you're doing everything possible to gain weight. No, you're winging it every day. You are just eating by when you're hungry and when you're not hungry. And what's that done for you? It's given you a whopping 135 pounds of body weight on your frame, and that's all you're working with. And that's not going to change until you understand that your appetite is your worst enemy at this current moment in time. Now, there are two main factors in your body that regulate your appetite, and that's ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone, and leptin, which is the satiety hormone. Ghrelin is something that builds up in your body between meals and between periods of time where you haven't eaten, and that is what's signaling to your brain that you need to eat. A lot of you, in this case, are actually deficient in this hormone. You do not have a lot of ghrelin in your body, and that is not great, because without ghrelin, it makes it pretty goddamn hard to put on weight, if you're never fucking hungry, right? So how do you increase ghrelin in the body? You have to give your body a reason to want to eat more food, a reason to need the food more specifically. One of the things that you can do, obviously, in this case, hopefully you've already been doing that, it's hitting the gym. Weightlifting is a great way to spike your appetite. Exercise of any kind is great for spiking your appetite. Now on top of that, you're going to want to drink plenty of water, so be hydrated, and you're going to want to be sleeping well. Another thing that I'm going to tell you is you do not have to eat 100% clean. This whole idea of a completely clean and lean bulk, I think, is asinine in the case of a hard gainer, right? Quote unquote, an ectomorph, or whatever you want to call yourself. If you are somebody who is literally severely underweight, right? 135 pounds, 125 pounds, and let's say you're not like extremely short. Let's say you're like a regular height, like even like my height, like 5'8". You're very, very, very light. You're on the malnourished side, guys. You understand? Especially by bodybuilding standards. And so eating completely lean and completely clean to gain weight is a little insane, because the majority of those foods are high in protein, they're high in fiber, and they're very satiating. So you can't eat a lot of it. And the problem is you're not eating enough. So why would you comprise the majority of your diet with foods that will make it hard to eat more? You're gonna wanna eat more calorie dense foods. And sometimes that means getting a little dirty. If you wanna eat a bag of chips here and there, if you wanna knock back a can of soda, if you wanna eat a tub of ice cream, I don't care. Do it. Get the calories in for now. It's a temporary thing, right? We need to get you up to that higher level of weight so that your body can then understand what it feels like to be at that body weight, and then you have a better idea of how to maintain it. Once you're there, you can then start implementing more clean eating habits, because then your ghrelin levels are going to be at a normal rate. Your appetite is going to be regulated a lot better, and you're going to be a lot more of a hungry individual, whereas previously you weren't. So you achieved the end goal there. But temporarily, you will have to be eating a little crappy here and there, and that's completely fine. So don't forget, while it is good to eat clean, in this case, the goal is putting on weight. So just eat that slice of cake. Go ahead and bite into that ice cream. And go ahead and drink that soda. You'll be fine. Now, adding on to that, you will want to prioritize foods higher in carbs and higher in fat. If it's higher in protein, you're typically going to just fill up a little too fast and you can't eat a lot of it. Still eat a good amount of protein, but foods like pasta, rice, foods like avocados, milk, things like that are just very dense in fat and carbs are going to be your best friend for a calorie dense option. All right, now step 3, and this is the most important step. We kind of went over it earlier, but you can't psych yourself out, guys. You have to commit to the bulk. You have to commit the weight gaining process, because you will see your leanness decrease, but it won't be as quick as you think. As you bulk, remember that you are also putting on muscle alongside that fat, and so you're going to see your chest filling in, your arms are going to get bigger, your biceps are finally growing like you want them to, your triceps are finally growing, your back's finally growing, your legs especially, they're finally growing. They're going to get muscular for sure, but they are going to lose some of that leanness you had, and that's okay. Understand that the body fat that you were at during that point in time when you were emaciated, tiny, and underweight, it isn't really representative of what that body fat percentage could actually look like if you had the muscle on your frame to make it look better. So as you get higher in your body weight and you put on muscle, those higher, fatter, quote unquote, body fat ranges are going to look better and better and better. And you'll find that once you go from being, say you were 13% body fat, but very low in muscle mass, looking, shitty and skinny fat, but then you get to 17% body fat with 10, 15, maybe 20 pounds more muscle now on your frame, I guarantee you that 17% could end up even looking leaner than your initial 12% or so with a lesser amount of muscle mass on your frame. It's going to look denser, it's going to look fuller, it's going to look just substantially more aesthetically appealing. And once you do cut down to that lower, more leaner state, you're going to look insane, bro. And so that's what you have to keep in mind. It's a long game, and you have to see the end goal. You can't focus on just where you are now, because where you are now isn't where you want to be. So make the move, commit to it, and you will see the change. You will see the gains that you've been wanting this whole time. An extra tip as well that I highly recommend you do is simply track your food throughout the day. Now you can do this on your phone in your notes app, or you can do it in a notebook that you physically write on. But what I want you to do is simply write down before every single meal what you're eating and the time that you're eating it. You don't have to necessarily put down like the calories, the macro breakdown or whatever. It doesn't have to be like that. For you, I just want you to track the amount of times in a day that you're even eating. Because a lot of you are under the misconception that you eat a lot of food, but you don't. You understand? You eat a decent amount of food once or twice a day. That's not the same. You have to see how much food you're eating in a day, and you're gonna have to bump that up to at least 4 times a day. And then you will start to see the steady growth and progress that you've been wanting to see. That's a very, very, very useful tip right here. This is a very, very useful thing that you can implement. I highly recommend that you do it. It's only a temporary thing. It's just so you know for a fact that you've been lying to yourself. And this is the only way that you're going to be able to uncover that. All right, that's been all for this video. Hopefully all the tips will help you on your way to make some freaking gains. Let me know in the comments section below if the information in this video has helped you, even if it's, you know, a couple of weeks, maybe a month from now. If you want to come back, leave some feedback and say, hey, I tried this stuff out and you know what, it really worked, thank you so much. Or if you're somebody who has already given these things a try and you've seen success as well, I'd love to hear from you. Or if you have your own suggestions, same thing, just put it down in the comment section below. I'd love to get a discussion going on this, because it's kind of a hot issue right now in the bodybuilding space, with the whole, you know, Greg Doucette side of main gaining and, you know, the Noble Natty side of bulking and cutting. You know, everybody has their own opinion on this, and I think it's a very interesting subject. So if you want to discuss it, feel free to do so in the comment section down below. Now that being said, I also want to thank everybody for getting the channel to 100 subscribers. You know, it took a little longer than I would have expected to, and you know, it's been a long time coming. I'm so happy that we're here now, but my goal has always been to provide you guys with content that has absolutely undoubtable value, right? I want to give you guys something that you can take home, you can implement, and you can change your life with. So I don't want to be just like any other YouTuber you watch, and hopefully that is being fulfilled. Hopefully that's coming across, you know, from me to you, that I'm trying to really give you something of value. And I want to thank you guys for the support thus far. I really, really think that we can do great things here, and you know, I'm looking forward to the channel moving forward. I love making these videos, and I love making content. You know, in fact, I'm very passionate about fitness. Kind of rambling now, so I'm gonna have to cut the video here. But thank you guys so much. You have a great rest of your day, and as always, bye. I don't even know why I do that shit.